Warm welcome note. A very good afternoon and a hearty welcome to everyone present here. It is my honor to be able to compare the Students' Week program organized by the Bhawanipur Education Society College. Students' Week is a brilliant initiative taken by the state government focusing upon the students' awareness regarding the various beneficial educational schemes implemented by our Honorable Chief Minister and also other cultural programs, thereby providing the students an opportunity to showcase their creativity and talents. Without further ado, I would like to begin today's program with my sincere request to Priyanshu Datta for the opening song. Thank you.
প্রিয়াংশু প্রিয়াংশু তুমি কি এসেছো? প্রিয়াংশু
ম্যাম, মিটিং ভুল হয়ে যাওয়াতে প্রিয়াংশু ঢুকতে পারছে না।
আমি বলে দিচ্ছি, একটু প্রিয়াংশুকে ঢুকিয়ে নিতে। বাবু, প্রিয়াংশুকে একটু ঢুকিয়ে নে।
আম্রপালি, প্রিয়াংশু এসছে। Give him his responsibility.
Priyanshu Datta, I would request you for our opening song for today's event. Thank you.
আম্রপালি, প্রিয়াংশু এসেছে?
ম্যাম, আমি কিন্তু ঠিক দেখতে পাচ্ছি না।
ও জয়েন করতে পারছে না, একটুখানি প্লিজ। হ্যাঁ,
Milady, he has
Ma'am.
joined. He has joined. I can see the name. Join করেছে।
Yes, ma'am.
প্রিয়াংশু, হ্যাঁ, তুমি গান শোনাবে।
Ma'am, actually, I'm having some problem. That's why some technical issues. That's why, ma'am, একটু দেরি হয়ে গেল।
তুমি এখন রেডি আছো?
হ্যাঁ, ma'am, আমি রেডি আছি, ma'am.
হ্যাঁ, তুমি গান শোনাবে।
Okay, ma'am.
Milady, would he switch on the camera? ক্যামেরাটা একটু অন করবে ও?
প্রিয়াংশু, তুমি
তাহলে ভালো
ক্যামেরা
হয়।
অন করো। প্রিয়াংশু, ক্যামেরা অন
Yes,
করো।
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can you see me?
না, হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে,
ম্যাম তাহলে আমি শুরু করি ম্যাম।
হ্যাঁ শুরু কর।
ওকে ম্যাম। তোমার খোলা হাওয়া লাগিয়ে পালে, তোমার খোলা হাওয়া টুকরো করে কাছি আমি, ডুবতে রাজি আছি, আমি ডুবতে রাজি আছি, তোমার খোলা হাওয়া লাগিয়ে পালে, তোমার খোলা হাওয়া মাঝির লাগিয়াছি জাগি সকল রাত্রি বেলা, ঢেউগুলো যে আমায় নিয়ে করে কেবল খেলা, ঝড়কে আমি করব মিতে, ডরবো না তার ভ্রুকুটিতে, দাও ছেড়ে দাও গো আমি তুফান ফেলে বাঁচি, আমি ডুবতে রাজি আছি, তোমার খোলা হাওয়া লাগিয়ে পালে, তোমার খোলা হাওয়া। থ্যাংক ইউ ম্যাম।
Thank you so much, Priyanshu, for this melodious song.
Thank you so
So
much. Thank you so much.
next, it's my earnest request to our teacher in charge, Shubhabrata sir, to speak a few words.
Thank you, Amrapali. Dear friends and my beloved students, we are observing Students' Week like all other colleges. This is the first time we are organizing such a week-long program, but we got the instruction from Higher Education Department late. Still, we have tried to accommodate as much events as possible, maintaining a variety. All the programs shall be online. Now on, it will be an annual phenomenon, and we maintain a holistic approach. We shall coordinator by principals and student affairs about their conceptions before we go on for the events. In the program, we include group discussion, comical skit, poster making competition, recitation competition, vocal and instrumental concert, singing and dance performances, presentation of creative writing. We include awareness program on different students' welfare projects, workshop on career counseling, workshop on uses of digital library, workshop on collaborative learning, webinar on health consciousness, sports activities, online education system, and special drive on student study card. This is by no means an exhaustive list, as we have many more events. As a matter of fact, this week-long program is only a reflection of what we already practice with our students throughout the year. We expect a wide participation of the students and teachers. I wish the program all success. Thank you all. Over to Amrapali.
Thank you so much, sir. It was deep, and I hope we would be able to gather for such programs offline very soon. I would now request Tathagata sir, our IQAC coordinator, to enlighten us.
তথাগতদা কি ঢুকতে পারেনি? আম্রপালি তুমি নেক্সট চলে যাও, আমি দেখে নিচ্ছি তথাগতদা ঢুকতে পেরেছেন কিনা।
Okay, ma'am. All right. I would have requested Devjani ma'am, our vice principal from humanities, to speak a few words to us. However, due to her sore throat, she is present with us, but unfortunately, she won't be able to speak with us. So I would request Debanjana ma'am, our associate professor from political science, to share Devjani ma'am's thought on her behalf with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Amrupali. Very good afternoon to all these students and also to my colleagues who are here. I am merely reading out what Devjanidhi has written. So I'm a reader on her behalf as she is indisposed with a sore throat, right? I would read out what she has wanted to communicate with all of you students. Okay, here I go. Knowledge in ancient India was considered a key to attaining moksha or salvation. 𝐒𝒍𝒆𝒏𝒕𝒔. Learning was essentially metaphysical and consisted of learning of the Vedas and Hindu scriptures. In this teacher-centric learning process, students were sent to the ashramas of the eminent teachers or gurus, where the student was not only acquiring knowledge of the Vedas, but also taking part in the household chores of the guru, and was also acquiring a practical training in all life skills. He would be trained to be an ideal householder who would aspire to attain Chaturvarga, the goal of life, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. These ideals of a true Hindu's life are manifested in the famous discourses between a guru and his shishya, like the discourse between Yajnavalkya and Maitreyi, or the discourse between Nachiketa and Dharmaraja about the nature of Brahman and Atma. This education system, which continued for more than 2,000 years in India, not only maintained the purity of Hindu scriptures, but gave a true reflection of Hindu way of life. But this system of education had a major drawback, as the Aryans debarred the Shudras, the lowest class in the caste-based Aryan social ladder, from the privileges of acquiring Vedic knowledge. Vast masses of Indian population remained illiterate. This disqualification for the Shudras and Ati Shudras created socio-economic differences between the upper caste and lower castes. This gap widened over ages, leading to much social tension. This education system, devised by the ancient Hindus, continued unchanged by the Muslim rulers in the medieval rulers of India. Two separate systems of education were devised for Hindus and Muslim students. For the Hindus, elementary education was imparted by the pathshalas and tolls. These were the institutions for higher education. For the Muslim students, the maktabs and madrasas were centers for elementary and higher education, respectively. For both the communities, education was essentially based on scriptures. Significant changes were marked in this education system after the coming of the English. Initially, the British authorities were reluctant to bring remarkable changes in the system of education, apprehending hostile reaction from the Indians. But from the 1820s, a strong demand for the introduction of Western education was voiced by the intellectuals like Raja Ram Mohan Roy and supported by British liberals, both in England and India. Indian system of education based on scriptures was considered to be outdated. Government General Lord William Bentinck accepted the demand and Western education was introduced. English became the medium of instruction, but this system of education also failed to bring large number of Indian people within the orbit of education. As the ultimate objective of the colonial government was to get sufficient number of English educated clerks to run the establishment, they did not take any steps for overhauling the education system. Only some schools and colleges imparting Western education were set up. Elementary education for rural masses was thoroughly neglected. Institutions for elementary education were closed down due to paucity of funds. This lacuna of the education system, introduced by the British government, was pointed out by the Woods Dispatch, which urged the government to set up a chain of schools starting from elementary education to institutions for higher learning. But not much tangible changes were expected from the colonial masters. Throughout the colonial period, education for the masses was thoroughly neglected and social gap further widened. This was the legacy of the education system, which was inherited by the Indian government at the time of freedom and transfer of power. Jawaharlal Nehru and his associates dreamt of founding a welfare state where every citizen would have equal opportunities. Education was placed in concurrent list as it should be in the priority list of both the central and state governments. In last few decades, all the governments have tried their best to spread literacy and fulfill Gandhiji's dream of a new India. Free compulsory education have been maximum emphasis has been laid on women's education, as only expansion of education can remove evils like child marriage from our society. Kanyashri project of the Bengal government has been internationally acclaimed. Many other schemes have been introduced by our government to help students in need. All these schemes will be highlighted in the program specifically for the students. I would request our students to note the details of the schemes and avail which is required by them. Please remember that we have miles to go from here. Thank you. Thank you all. Amrupali, over to you.
Thank you, Devanjana ma'am, for putting that up so beautifully. It was really informative. Thank you, Debjani ma'am. I hope for your speedy convalescence. I would now request Tathagato sir, our 𝐼𝐞𝐴C coordinator, to enlighten us. Thank you. Is Tathagato sir there?
Yes. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir, you are.
Yes. I'm sorry. I was on mute. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Amropali. I have been looking forward to this event very eagerly because nowadays, for the last 20 months, we've got so little opportunity to interact with each other, to see our students. It has never happened before. In the last 34 years of my teaching career, there has never been 2 successive batches that I have not seen. It's unimaginable. We'd never predicted a set of circumstances like this. So I was really eager to look forward to this performances, live performances where our students would perform in front of us. This would be a great talent hunt, a kind of a talent hunt, a kind of an appreciation, a kind of a platform for them to exhibit their talent. So I thought this was a very good idea and I was looking forward to it. But as luck would have it, we have again been debarred from meeting personally and maintain greater distances this time because it's become more infectious, less deadly perhaps, but more infectious. So it's with a heavy heart that I am joining because half the fun or most of the fun is lost really. So as we have been teaching in the last 20 months or so, I have had no eye contact because students mainly keep their cameras off because of different problems. So we don't see them. So this would have been, that ice would have been broken for the first time today. But unfortunately, that opportunity is lost. Now, we do criticize people, the younger generation, for losing touch with their culture, with books, and spending a lot of time on the social media, etc. But I can assure you that we have no dearth of talent, even everywhere, not just our college, everywhere. It's immensely talented. One of the boys that I can think of from our department, from semester 5, he's been selected the Youth Photographer of the Year 2021, and he's the first Indian to be given that award, the Youth Photographer of the Year at the Sony World Photography Awards. And he has been selected from 330,000 entries. His work has already been exhibited in Paris. Apart from photography, he is also a very deft tabla player. So all these skills, and there are many others who are committed theatre workers, who are wonderful musicians, who are dancers. There are many others, but this being an international award, I am mentioning Pubarun only. So there's no dearth of talent, It's only perhaps a little bit of nurturing, and a lot more can be achieved in the times to come. Anywhere, in any college, we would see that kind of a scene. But the problem lies elsewhere. Times now are changing faster than we had ever imagined. Obsolescence, as you know, the rate at which things become obsolete, techniques become obsolete, gadgets become obsolete, that rate has gone up manifold. So what was relevant yesterday, what was quite fashionable yesterday and accepted yesterday, is no longer acceptable today. And even techniques of teaching, traditional techniques, are all lost. We are losing touch with them. We are losing touch with our roots. That is where I think I would focus my observations on, that times changing so fast, we are losing our contact with tradition, the traditions of India. India has been a land of gurus who would impart lessons on everything, whether it is art or archery. Remember Dronacharya. So whether it's philosophy or painting, there has always been a guru who has nurtured what nature has given us. So nature plus nurture, together we got the complete man, without which we would not have it. You remember the shloka with which musicians often begin their concerts: Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Gurudev Maheshwara. That is the Holy Trinity, the most powerful trinity of Hinduism. The Guru is equated with that trinity. So that kind of a respect, that kind of an importance the teacher had. Now, my main focus, my main purpose of saying this is that the human being was at the center. Now it's the machine, the laptop, Brahma, laptop is the Vishnu, and laptop he Maheshwara. That is, I think, a dangerous sign. We can never replace a human being with a laptop. I can recall a very personal incident. One of our boys last year, just before his 5th SEM examination, he lost his mother after a painful illness. And I was conversing with him just to persuade him so that he did not avoid the examinations. They were just round the corner. So that he took the examinations, because it would have been lots of a year. So I kept on consoling him, counseling him. Then one word, 2 words worked like magic. Not my own words. His mother had had a very painful end. So I consoled him, saying that, come to think of it this way, that now for your mother, it's Shamukhe Shanti Parabar. Those 2 words simply worked like magic. He got up and ran to his father and repeated, because both father and son were suffering. And they found so much consolation there. rang me up later. The father rang me up later and told me about this, how it worked like magic. And I said, these are not my words. These are Tagore's words, the opening words of a song. And, this is something that a machine, I don't think, can ever offer you. In times of need, in times of a crisis, you have to come to literature, to music, and to a human being with passion. A robot can never have that passion. A robot can never have an inspiring presence. A robot can give you modules that would only promote the stomach and pocket view of life. But there is a world beyond the stomach and pocket view of life. And it's only when we come to expose, nurture, and cultivate these talents that you become a more complete human being. That is where your identity as a human being comes out, not just as a money churning machine. So money is important. Without it, we would do nothing, not even art and literature. But that's not the be all and end all of everything. So may we not lose our human touch. That's my advice to the younger generation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Those words were really inspiring and insightful. I absolutely agree that times are changing faster than we could have imagined, and then we know that change is the only constant thing. But even I feel that we have become too much robotic, completely dependent upon digital gadgets, and sometimes I really feel we could go back to the era of letters and communicating our emotions in a more genuine way. But we can hope that amidst all these unfortunate circumstances, we would be together in this fight, in this journey, and let's hope that things will get better. So next, I would extend my earnest request to Shashpo sir, our Vice Principal from Commerce, to furnish us with the importance of today's event. Thank you.
শস্প কি আছে? আম্রপালি, নেক্সট চলে যাও।
All right, ma'am. Now I would request Pinky ma'am, our Vice Principal from Science, to enlighten us.
আসলে কেউ জয়েন করতে পারছে না। পিঙ্কি, আম্রপালি, নেক্সট।
Next is I would like to request Dilip sir, our Dean, to oblige us with few words.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
পেরেছে শস্প, পিঙ্কি কেউই ঢুকতে পারেনি, সব
I'm
রিমুভ
actually
হয়ে
taken by surprise. I didn't expect that I would be speaking. Was it a part of the program?
Yes, sir. Please, it will be our pleasure. Please do
Then
oblige
that
us.
is fine, but
Few words.
I did not know. Nobody has communicated that I'm supposed to be addressing. But anyway, that doesn't matter. It's a celebration for the students starting from today. And I believe it is in the wake of the Vivekananda Jayanti, which is further down the month. On the 12th, we have the Vivekananda Jayanti. We remember him as a youth leader and youth icon and things like that. A lot of good things have already been said. I think our colleague Tathagato in great details has said a lot of things in very beautiful words. And even before that, I think Devjani ma'am also said a few things. Well, friends, so far as we are concerned at the Dean's office, I think we keep having interactions with the youth, even During this period of pandemic, and after that, as we opened, we've been having interactions. In fact, today itself, we were supposed to have a session called The Secrets of the Calculator for the youth. And I think we will be having a session on first aid also very soon. All these things continue to happen throughout the year. And it's a fortunate thing that we are also able to have students participation, though in lesser numbers, with a lot of limitations, of course. But I think it's definitely very, very interesting, because if students are not there, and why just a week? I would say the entire year, 365 days of the college are basically oriented towards the students. In fact, all of us, the entire infrastructure, the management, everything is basically there because the students are there. So I am very, very happy that 1 week has been identified so that once again the students can come and rejuvenate their spirits. But more than anything else, I would say that every single moment is for the students, and every arrangement is so that the students achieve greater achievements in their life. And we are here to back you, we are here to help you, and we are here because you are here. So, on those notes, and since in any case everything has been spoken, I would wish this celebration success. And I wish every single child present over here and not here also to partake in activities tomorrow, day after, etc. And of course, beyond this week also continue to participate. Things will obviously be better. This too will pass. And once again, we will reassemble. We'll once again sing. We'll once again dance. We'll have fun. Of course, we usually have during this part of the year our annual fest called 𝐒𝐭𝐮𝐝𝒃𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏. This year we did not have it, but I don't know how many of you all came across this, but we had something called effervescence. That was about 2 or 3 months back. And effervescence was a close translation to the word umang. So we did not have umang, but we definitely had a micro or a mini umang. So all the activities have taken place and they are happening, but of course with limitations, with care and caution. May all of you all take care. May all of you all be careful. Do not let your youthful spirits nowhere get compromised or marginalized. Be cheerful, be happy, spread the cheer around, and that's it from my side. Thank you so much. See you.
Thank you so much, sir. So next, I would request Pinky ma'am, our vice principal from Science, to enlighten us.
Thank you, Amropali. Good afternoon to all present here. Respected teacher in charge, Dr. 𝐒𝐭𝐮𝒃𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 Gangopadhyay. Respected Vice Principal Arts, Professor 𝑺𝒕𝒖𝒅𝒆𝒏𝒕𝒔 Ganguly. Respected Vice Principal Commerce, Professor 𝐼𝐞𝐞𝐤 Chakraborty. 𝐰𝐞𝐞𝐤 Coordinator, Professor 𝒕𝒊𝒂𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏, the management of the college, the program coordinator, Dr. Mili Shamadar, who has taken all the initiative for this program, my fellow colleagues, and last but not the least, my beloved students. Warm greetings to all and Happy New Year. I am really honored to be invited in this program, the Observation of Students Week, a week-long program to be celebrated as directed by the government of West Bengal. All of my senior associates already shared their views and thoughts very nicely and in a lucid way about the theme or objective of this program. Only as I understand from the directives received to observe Students' Week, to open up the various direction of the awareness. Firstly, to introduce some inventiveness to our students with some beneficial schemes offered by the state government, and to provide the base idea about some welfare program offered by your college. Secondly, the week celebration could bring a drastic change in the students as they portray the qualities of leadership, teamwork, cooperation, confidence, hard work, and social spirit. It gives each student a chance to come forward and demonstrates what is good in academic and non-academic activities. We feel that without the outlet of their abilities, the entire teaching process is incomplete. And also, the psychological pattern and health issues are obvious to be the part of the awareness program, especially in this present situation. The meeting with parents or guardians is another aspect of the awareness program, which is very much required to reach to close one's mind. Let everyone appreciate the efforts of all the students who have been participating to present their talents, and all the faculty members and support staffs associated with different programs. We have been fortunate, and there is support from all the sides of the participation, and the students, teachers, and support staff who are working at the backstages. Now we are waiting for this vibrant week, our life support systems, our students, to gather some wonderful and cheerful memories. Thank you all. Stay safe and stay well. Thank you.
Amrapali, you are on mute.
I apologize. Thank you, Pinky ma'am. It has been our pleasure to receive such opportunities because they have been our constant encouragement. So the most awaited moment has arrived, and we are about to begin with our cultural programs for the day. So I would like to welcome 𝐤𝐵𝒂𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏 for the opening recitation. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Amrapali. So, am I audible and visible at the same time?
Yes.
Yeah, so I would like to speak in my mother tongue. তো এখানে উপস্থিত সবাইকে আমার প্রণাম, সমস্ত শিক্ষক শিক্ষিকা প্রত্যেককে আমার প্রণাম, নতুন বছরের অসংখ্য শুভেচ্ছা, প্রণাম এবং আমার বন্ধুদেরকে ভালোবাসা। আমি কলকাতার যিশু কবিতাটি পাঠ করব, নীরেন্দ্রনাথ চক্রবর্তীর লেখা। তো আমি শুরু করছি, ঠিক আছে
দাদা?
লাল বাতি নিষেধ ছিল না, তবুও ঝড়ের বেগে ধাবমান কলকাতা শহর অতর্কিতে থেমে গেল। ভয়ঙ্কর ভাবে টাল সামলে নিয়ে দাঁড়িয়ে রইল ট্যাক্সি ও প্রাইভেট, টেম্পো, বাঘ মার্কা ডাবল ডেকার। গেল গেল আর্তনাদে রাস্তার দুদিক থেকে যারা ছুটে এসেছিল, ঝাঁকামুটে, ফিরিয়ালা, দোকানি ও খরিদ্দার, এখন তারাও যেন স্থির চিত্রটির মতো শিল্পীর জেলে লগ্ন হয়ে আছে। স্তব্ধ হয়ে সবাই দেখছে টালমাটাল পায় রাস্তার এক পাড় থেকে অন্য পাড়ে হেঁটে চলে যায় সম্পূর্ণ উলঙ্গ এক শিশু। খানিক আগেই বৃষ্টি হয়ে গেছে চৌরঙ্গি পাড়ায়, এখন রোদ্দুর ফের অতি দীর্ঘ বল্লমের মতো মেঘের হৃৎপিণ্ড ফুঁড়ে নেমে আসছে, মায়াবী আলোয় ভাসছে কলকাতা শহর। স্টেট বাসের জানলায় মুখ রেখে একবার আকাশ দেখি, একবার তোমাকে। ভিখারি মায়ের শিশু, কলকাতার যিশু, সমস্ত ট্রাফিক তুমি মন্ত্র বলে থামিয়ে দিয়েছ। জনতার আর্তনাদ, অসহিষ্ণু ড্রাইভারের দাঁতের ঘষ্টানি, কিচ্ছুতে ভ্রুক্ষেপ নেই তোমার। দুদিকে উদ্যত মৃত্যু, তুমি তার মাঝখান দিয়ে টলতে টলতে হেঁটে যাও, যেন মূর্ত মানবতা সদ্য হাঁটতে শেখার আনন্দ সমগ্র বিশ্বকে তুমি হাতের মুঠোয় পেতে চাও। যেন তাই টালমাটাল পায় তুমি পৃথিবীর এক কিনার থেকে অন্য কিনারে চলেছ। থ্যাংক ইউ।
Thank you so much, 𝐤𝐵𝒂𝒂𝒕. I wonder what could have been a better opening of the ceremony. Thank you so much. So next we have our group discussion. It will be conducted by Donna ma'am from Pol Science Department, and we have our participants Bishwarup Chatterjee from the Department of English, Semester 3, 𝐤𝐵𝒂𝒂𝒕 from Department of Chemistry, Semester 3, Shambhavi Kanodia from the Department of English, Semester 1, and Reet Gupta from the Department of English, Semester 1. The topic is education. Please, the topic is education in higher education in India, necessity versus reality.
Very good afternoon to all. First of all, I will like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our teacher in charge, Sir, Professor Dr. 𝐒𝐭𝐻 Ganguly, our 𝐰𝐞𝐴C coordinator, Professor 𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏, our Vice Principal Arts, Professor 𝒉𝒚𝒨𝒃𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏, Vice Principal Commerce, Professor 𝐼𝐸𝐴𝐶 Chakraborty, the management of the college, and the last but not the least, our program coordinator, Dr. Nili Somadar, for giving me this opportunity to participate here and coordinate this group discussion, which will be conducted here today as a part of the Students' Week observation. It is indeed a great honor for me. So, first of all, I would request the participants to please switch on your audio and your video, and please introduce yourself very quickly. Participants from both the groups, I think we have two groups here, and I will request all the participants to introduce themselves very quickly.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Swagotam Mukherjee. I am from Department of Chemistry.
Welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. Please go ahead, ma'am.
Vishwarup, I think you are not audible enough.
Am I audible now, ma'am?
Yes, now you are audible.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is 𝐵ishwarup Chatterjee. I am a student of the Department of English, currently studying in semester 3.
Welcome, Vishwarup, and rest.
Very good afternoon to my professors and my friends. My name is Reet Gupta, and I hope I'm audible. This is my first online event of the college, and I'm very excited. I'm pursuing English, and this is my first semester.
Next.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Shambhavi Kanodia from the Department of English, and I'm in semester 1 right now.
Okay. And who else?
Ma'am, for today, just the 4 of us are going to do the group discussion, and next 4 will take out on 6th.
Okay. Okay, but I can see only 3 of you are here.
Ma'am, all 4 of us are here, ma'am. Myself, Reet, Shambhavi, and Swagotam.
Okay. Yes, yeah. Okay. So please just if you can please tell us that. I think there are 2 groups. So 2 of you in each group, I presume. Right.
I don't think so, ma'am. That has not been divided yet. Actually.
Okay, fine. So that is going to be only a single group where we will take out, carry forward this discussion with. Okay. So as we are all aware, so today's topic is higher education in India, necessity versus a reality. So we all know that higher education, the necessity of higher education, why it is required, for what are the prospects of higher education. We are all aware of that, more or less. We have a basic knowledge, but today we expect our students, the future of our country, to kind of, focus on that. What are the requirements, or what are the prospects or the limitations of higher education in our country? What are the necessary infrastructures which will be required for boosting the education sector in our country? And on top of that, what is whatever its I mean, what are the requirements or structure on top of that? What is the present reality of the higher education system in our country as such? So we will discuss not only the not only the prospects, but we will also, as I say, but also the challenges, the loopholes, and the whatever is present. So we are going to have a very unbiased, all right, a neutral discussion where we will try to, I mean, you will try to kind of enlighten us, enrich us. I should use the word enrich, where you will enrich us with your opinion, with your suggestions, all right, regarding the entire higher education structure in our country. You will focus on each, we will expect that you will focus on each and every minute details and aspects. So without any further ado, the stage is all yours. Please start the ball rolling. All right, over to you now.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, participants, firstly, before we get into the topic, we must understand that the very prospect of higher education in India currently is massively jeopardized. Given the fact that we are currently going through a massive pandemic, the prospects of higher education have been jeopardized. Why? Because, believe it or not and accept it or not, the online mode of education is not effective. We have already seen how many college dropouts have come out from India this year, and I'd like my fellow participants to press more upon this fact, and let us talk about how mainly the pandemic has affected the higher education and what the government should do to combat this reality.
Right. Thank you, Bisharup, for that information. It's actually very, very important. So right now, what India is facing in terms of higher education, like we've had a lot of challenges. We also made a lot of good strides. But what has happened is since COVID has come in, since this entire education platform has taken a new turn, has gone online, there are obviously a lot of new challenges, right? And one of the main challenges that Bisharup has very wisely pointed out are the college dropout rates, right? And another very important problem that I feel would be how the practical element of education, right? Because as we know, higher education, see, what is the flow of a human being? We will get our education and then we will get a job, right? Now the job is completely 100% practical, right? So what is imperative is that the higher education, whatever degrees we are getting, we have to get practical experience, right? And the very concept of online classes completely defeats that. So I feel that in terms of productivity, in terms of executing our knowledge, in executing a student's knowledge in his field, I think that efficiency is it is greatly affected. And I think that we have to come up with innovative ways to start reintroducing these practical classes, these practical elements in our courses. I'd like to move on the baton to someone else.
Well, if you would allow me to speak, I am completely in agreement with what you said, Mr. Gupta. Given the fact that students in India really, unfortunately, lack practical experiences when it comes to the real world, getting jobs in India is getting difficult as compared to the other real world, as compared to the outside world. Why is this? Because, and this is not only applicable for higher education, it's applicable for secondary education, any form of education, because students in India are being taught things which are mostly not applicable and practical in the real world. From the very beginning, from the start of a child's grooming, the child should be taught from his educational institutions as to how banking works, how to pay taxes, money management, so on and so forth. These kind of teachings are extremely important for the world that we are getting into. As we all know that the world is really getting into cryptocurrency right now. How many of us actually understand what cryptocurrency is? Many of us don't. We have to understand cryptocurrency. And from I think that these kinds of teachings should not be only concentrated upon a particular few students who let's say study things within the prospects of commerce, but also each and every one. And I would love to hear the opinions of Shagota and Shambhavi on this.
Yes, thank you, Bisharup. হ্যাঁ, তো এখানে হায়ার এডুকেশন নিয়ে আমরা যখন কথা বলছি, এখানে খুব সুন্দর করে তোমরা দুজনেই এই কথাটা তুলেছো যে প্যান্ডেমিকে, ওকে, এখানে প্যান্ডেমিকের প্রসঙ্গটা খুব সুন্দর উঠেছে, চাকরির প্রসঙ্গটা ভীষণ সুন্দর উঠেছে, যে চাকরি করতে গেলে তার যে অ্যাপ্লিকেশন আমাদের শিক্ষার মধ্যে দরকার বা তার আমাদের রিয়েল ওয়ার্ল্ড প্র্যাকটিস যেটা দরকার, সেটা না থাকলে আমরা চাকরিতে পাবো না। এখন মুশকিল হচ্ছে, আমরা যখন হায়ার এডুকেশন নিয়ে কথা বলছি, এরা কিন্তু কেউ বাচ্চা ছেলে মেয়ে নয়, এদের কিন্তু 18 বছর বয়স হয়ে গেছে। এই ছেলে মেয়েগুলোর যখন ভোট দেওয়ার ক্ষমতা থাকে, তাদের এটা বোঝা উচিত যে তারা তাদের ক্যারিয়ার নিয়ে কি করবে। আমি মূলত বিজ্ঞান নিয়ে কথা বলবো, কারণ যেহেতু বিজ্ঞানটাই আমার জায়গা এখনো অব্দি রয়েছে এবং আগেও ছিল, ভবিষ্যতেও থাকবে। আমি মূলত দেখেছি যে অল ইন্ডিয়া জয়েন্ট বলে যে পরীক্ষাটি হয়, সেখানে 15 লক্ষ ছেলে মেয়ে বসে পরীক্ষা দিতে। 90% স্টুডেন্ট জানে না যে তারা কি করতে চলেছে, তাদের মুখে একটাই নাম ঘুরে বেড়ায়, সেটা হচ্ছে আইআইটি। আইআইটিতে কি পড়ায় কেউ জানে না, আইআইটিতে সিভিল ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং এর কি ডিগ্রি, তার কি সিলেবাস, কেন পড়বো জানি না। এবং এইটার এখানে শুধু যে স্টুডেন্টসদের আমি দোষ দিচ্ছি তা নয়, এটা একটা অদ্ভুত মাইন্ডসেট যে তোমাকে বিজ্ঞান নিয়ে পড়াশোনা করলে তোমাকে ইঞ্জিনিয়ার হতে হবে, তুমি ইঞ্জিনিয়ার না হলে তোমাকে নিজের পক্ষে একটা ডাক্তার হতে হবে, তুমি যদি কোনো কিছুতে না তখন সফলতা পাও তারপরে তুমি জেনারেল লাইন নিয়ে পড়াশোনার কথা পাবো, কারণ জেনারেল লাইন অনেক বেশি টাফ। তার পিএইচডি করা না হলে নাকি কোনো পড়াশোনাই নাকি তার সাকসেসফুল হয় না। এই যে রকমের ভুল ধারণা, আমাদেরকে যেটা সর্বপ্রথম বুঝতে হবে যে হায়ার এডুকেশন ইন ইন্ডিয়া বা ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গল, আমি যদি পশ্চিমবঙ্গের পড়াশোনার দিকটাও দেখি, যে কোনো পড়াশোনা, একটু উচ্চমানের পড়াশোনা করতে গেলে তার প্রথম যে জায়গাটা লাগে সেটা হচ্ছে যে তোমাকে একটা সাধনার মধ্যে ঢুকতে হবে, যে এবার কিন্তু ভাই আমি যেটা আগে পড়েছিলাম যে একটা গতের গত সিলেবাস আছে, গতের গত পড়বো, হয়ে গেল, আমার রেজাল্ট এসে গেল, আমার মার্কস এসে গেল, না, এই এফার্টটা আমি দেবো, কারণ এইটা ভেঙে আমাকে আমার সারাটা জীবন চালাতে হবে। এটার উপর আমি লেয়ারের উপর লেয়ার অ্যাড করবো, যাতে আমি আরো এনরিচ হতে পারি, আমি আমার জায়গাতে ভালো মতন একটা জিনিসকে তুলে ধরতে পারি। এবার ভারতবর্ষে রিয়ালিটির কথা যদি বলি, তাহলে আইডিয়াল তো হওয়া উচিত ছিল যে সবাই আইআইটিতে পাবে, তাহলে সিট ফিট বাড়িয়ে দিলে ঝামেলাটা মিটে যেত, কিন্তু সেটা তো হলো না। এখন যেটা রিয়ালিটি সেটা হচ্ছে যে প্রথমত স্টুডেন্টসরা ভীষণভাবে আনঅ্যাওয়্যার যে তারা কি করতে চায়, এবং আমাদের দেশে একটা মিস ইনফরমেশনের বন্যা বয়ে গেছে, যে যতটা না সঠিক তথ্য তুমি কনজিউম করো, তুমি অনেক বেশি ভুল তথ্য কনজিউম করো। এবং এটা সোশ্যাল মিডিয়ার দ্বারা আরো বেশি এটাকে মানে উৎসাহ দেওয়ার পেছনে সোশ্যাল মিডিয়ার একটা বিশাল অবদান আছে। কারণ কেন বলছি, এবং এটার পেছনে একটা বিশাল ব্যবসা, যে তুমি আইআইটিতে পড়তে যাচ্ছ, তাহলে তোমাকে এই ইনস্টিটিউটটাতে এইভাবে চ্যানেলাইজড হয়ে যেতে হবে, তাহলে তুমি পাবে, এবং এই ধরনের জিনিসপত্র হচ্ছে। আর আরেকটাও ভুল ধারণা যে বিজ্ঞান থেকে আরো প্যারালালি বিজ্ঞানের অ্যাপ্লিকেশন বেসড পড়াশোনা, যেমন ধরো ডিজাইন বলতে পারো, যেমন ধরো আর্কিটেকচার বলতে পারো, বা তুমি প্যারামেডিক্যাল বলতে পারো, এই সবগুলোর ব্যাপারে ছেলে মেয়েদের কোনো রকম কোনো ধারণা নেই, মানে মেজরিটিরই নেই। তারা ভাবে যে ডিজাইন মানে তো আঁকা, না না না, দরকার নেই, বাট ইট ইজ নট আঁকা। তুমি আঁকতে জানলে তোমার একটা চান্স থাকতে পারে পড়ার, কিন্তু তোমাকে ওই অ্যাপ্লিকেশনটা কিন্তু সায়েন্সেরই রাখতে হবে। এই সব নিয়ে ধারণা।
I may intrude for a second. I'm really sorry, but I would love to hear from you about the the topic of reserved seats in places like IIT and when it comes to civil services and so on and so forth, because that is a growing concern for a lot of people. And since you're speaking majorly on IIT and the walks of science life, then it would be lovely if you could enrich us about that. On that, basically.
দেখো, রিজার্ভ ক্যাটাগরি নিয়ে আমাকে যদি কথা বলতে হয়, আমাকে এইটা এখন যদি কেউ বলে যে ভাই সব তুলে দাও, কিচ্ছু থাকবে না, যারা জেনারেল পড়ছে তারাও পড়বে, যারা এসসি এসটি ওবিসি ইডব্লিউএস ওমেন, আইআইটিতে তো ওমেন রিজার্ভেশনও আছে, তাহলে সব তুলে দাও, তাহলে বুঝতে হবে যে মুশকিলটা অন্য জায়গায় হয়ে যাবে। মুশকিলটা এই জায়গাতে হবে, ব্যাপারটা হচ্ছে যে আইআইটিতে যারা এসসি এসটি বা ইডব্লিউএস এর ছেলেমেয়েরা গিয়ে পড়ে, তারা যে কেউই ডিজার্ভিং নয় আমি সে কথা বলছি। আমরা এমনিতেই মেজর ট্যালেন্টসদেরকে পাই না আইআইটিতে এট টাইমস, মানে যে কটাকে পাচ্ছি 5000 সিটের মধ্যে, তাছাড়াও কিন্তু হয়তো আরো 1 লক্ষ মেজর ট্যালেন্টসদেরকে আমরা মিস করে আমরা 5000 মানে ক্রিমেস্ট পাচ্ছি। এবার ইডব্লিউএস আর জেনারেল ক্যাটাগরি এইগুলো যদি তুলে দিই, তখন সব থেকে মুশকিল হবে যে আমরা ওদের মধ্যে থেকে আর কাউকেই খুঁজে পাবো না, তারা এমন ভাবে হারিয়ে যাবে যে তাদেরকে তুলে ধরা আর কোনো ক্ষমতা আমাদের থাকবে না। এবং ইকোনমিক্যালি উইকার সেকশনটাকে আমি মনে করি যে এইগুলো রাখা উচিত, কারণ এই মানুষগুলোর মানে এখন সবাই বলছে যে হ্যাঁ জেনারেল ক্যাটাগরিরা খুব প্রবলেম ফেস করছে, ইয়ে ফেস করছে। হ্যাঁ জেনারেল ক্যাটাগরি প্রবলেম ফেস করছে, সেটা কারণ 50% হয়ে গেছে, সেটা এদের দেখার কথা যে এই 50%টাকে কি করে আরো ইয়ে করা যায়। কিন্তু তার মানে এটা না, আমার কম্পিটিশন কিন্তু 50% এসসির সাথে 50% জেনারেলের নয়, বা 50% এসটির সাথে 50% জেনারেলের নয়। ওরা ওভারঅলে 50 আর আমরা এমনিতে 50, সেটা বুঝতে হবে। এবং ওরা ওভারঅলে 50 হওয়ার পরেও ওদের কটা তুমি খুঁজে পাচ্ছ যে এসসি এসটি ইডব্লিউএস ওবিসি গিয়ে চাকরির ক্ষেত্রে গিয়ে জায়গাটাকে ডমিনেট করতে পারছে, সিভিল সার্ভিসেও বা পাচ্ছে। ডমিনেন্ট নেই পড়াশোনার জায়গাতে। হ্যাঁ এবার এটাকে যদি কেউ মানে এটাকে যদি কেউ একটা অ্যাডভান্টেজ নিয়ে নেয় যে আমি পড়াশোনাই করবো না, আমি জ্ঞানের প্রতি কোনো আমার ভালোবাসা নেই, আমি একটা এসসি এসটি তে বিলং করছি বলে আমি পেয়ে যাব, তাহলে আমাকে সিস্টেমটাকে চ্যালেঞ্জ করতে হবে যে তারা ঠিকঠাক কোয়েশ্চেন পেপার বানাতে পারছে না যাতে তাদের শিক্ষাটাকে ঠিকঠাক করে ইয়ে করতে পারে। সেটাতে এদের কিছু করার নেই, এরা এটা ভাবছে কি করে, কারণ তারা সিস্টেমটাকে ধরে নিয়েছে। আমরা অনলাইন পরীক্ষা, এই যে তুমি বললে অনলাইন পরীক্ষাটা এখন কোনো মান রাখে না, তার কারণটা কি? ক্যাজুয়াল করে দেওয়া হয়েছে কারণ সিস্টেম সেরকম কোয়েশ্চেন পেপার বানাচ্ছে। এমন কোয়েশ্চেন পেপার বানানো যে না পড়লে লেখার ক্ষমতাই হবে না, সে পড়তে বাধ্য হয়ে যাবে সেই মাত্রার যদি কোয়েশ্চেন পেপার তৈরি। তখন স্টুডেন্টরা অনলাইন হোক অফলাইন হোক ভাই বাড়ি থেকে বেরোতে পারবো না, ক্রিসমাস হয়ে গেছে, ভুলে যা, পড়, পরীক্ষা নালে পাস করতে পারবো। এটা অনেক দিক থেকে দেখার আছে। আমি এখানে একটু বক্তব্যটাকে বন্ধ রাখবো, আমি অন্য আরেকজনও বলবে, আমি তো একটা শুনবো, আমরা সবাই শুনবো। আমি আরেকটা জায়গা নিয়ে শুধু কথা বলবো, সেটা হচ্ছে সিলেবাস, এবং আরেকটা জিনিস নিয়ে কথা বলবো, সেটা হচ্ছে যে কম্পিটিশন ভার্সেস নাম্বার অফ সিটস ইন হায়ার এডুকেশন, এবং ব্যাপারটা হচ্ছে ইনফ্রাস্ট্রাকচার, সেটা হচ্ছে যে একটা ওয়ার্ল্ড ক্লাস ইউনিভার্সিটির যে ইনফ্রাস্ট্রাকচার থাকে, গভর্নমেন্ট কলেজ আর প্রাইভেট কলেজের এই যে ডিফারেন্সটা, যে অনেক ভালো ভালো প্রাইভেট কলেজে প্রচন্ড ভালো লেভেলের ইনফ্রাস্ট্রাকচার থাকে, সেখানে এটা দেখা গেছে যে, আমি ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং কলেজের কথাই মূলত বলতে চাইবো, যে সেখানে পয়সার জন্য স্টুডেন্টসরা পড়তে পারেনি, কিন্তু ইনফ্রাস্ট্রাকচার একটা ওয়ার্ল্ড ক্লাস ছিল। এই জায়গাগুলো নিয়ে আমি এবার আমার পরের বার আমার যদি অপরচুনিটি আসে কথা বলার, সবার কথা বলা হলে আমি তখন নিশ্চয়ই এটা নিয়ে বলবো। থ্যাংক ইউ।
Thank you so much for this enriching information, Shagoto. But I would like to point this out that one of our fellow participants, Shambhavi Kanuria, she does not understand the Bengali dialect. So if you could, from the next time, take your speech to English so that each and every one of us can understand it properly without any hassle. Okay. So, all right. So very, very nicely spoken at least when it comes to the situations in IIT. And I think a lot of people have seen Quota Factory, the show on YouTube and Netflix, and I think that clearly encompasses what Shagoto was trying to basically point out. Now, at this point, do we have any other points so that we can move ahead into the actual part of the discussion? Is that we have basically been able to point out what the expectations are, what the necessity is. Yes, higher education is a necessity when it comes to 2022 and the upcoming world. You cannot, unfortunately, survive without having a good higher education degree. Though that it is what it is, right? We know what the expectations are. We know what the necessity is. Now, we have also been able to clearly identify what the realities of these things are. So, don't you think, guys, that we should move into discussing about the solutions as to what can be done? We as students of higher education, we as college students, understand how a college works perhaps better than the higher ups who are sitting up there in the parliament making rules and regulations and acts and laws. So on that note, I'd like to move over to Shambhavi, if you would have anything to say to us.
Yes, earlier you mentioned that something about reservations. I think reservations are not a very good way to. I mean, there has been a lot of caste discrimination, and people of lower backgrounds could not reach the education that they should get. But as for now, India's education system should be formulated in such a way that it is free of any kind of like caste, creed, or any kind of religion. Like, students should not have to face that in the present anymore. I mean, that's what I believe, because reservations have always favored those students. I mean, they have also been very beneficial for some, but for like it creates a gap between some students who deserve to go further.
Right. So I respect whatever you feel, right? But we have to understand, let's go back a few steps and we have to understand why this reservation system is there in the first place, right? Because we are a country with a massive populace, right?
Mr.
And
Gupta, 1 minute, Mr. Gupta.
sure, go ahead.
Samradik, will you kindly elaborate on what you tried to say? Because I didn't get you, to be very honest. Because you are trying to say that it is beneficial to some and then it is problematic to the rest. That's what you are trying to say, right? So can you kindly elaborate on this point, like taking some example or anything? Because it's not very clear. The idea is not very clear. So please, if you
Okay,
kindly
so
elaborate on
for
this.
example, suppose I'm not pointing it out for any particular person, but I have I've seen so many cases where some of the people who are you know supposed to be from a lower caste, supposed in an OBC class, but they are well off, their families are well off. They are getting more privileged than those who should have those families who are not that well off but are supposed to be from general caste, and they are not getting admissions in colleges. Like I have seen recently it happened where my friends could not get into a college, but someone who has scored a little lesser percentage but was supposed to be from a reserve caste got into that particular college.
Right. I think what we're
Okay,
talking
thank you.
about is the the loopholes which are present in the vetting process, which I also feel that I do not feel that the reservation system should be removed at all. Like it is
No,
there for a
I do
reason.
not believe that it should be removed. It should be,
There
it should
should
be
be
more
like a
broad. Yes.
condition for looking into the economic status of the part of the
Yes,
of the student we
exactly.
are talking about. Perhaps that would help you know uh, make the system more efficient. Moving on, Swagato was talking about the fact that how the student base, the majority of the student base, like not a majority but a very considerable amount of the student base, they are pursuing engineering, they're pursuing science, right? Now, why has this happened? Right, over the past 30 to 40 years, our world, or even 50, I would say since post World War II, right? What has happened is the world has taken massive steps in technology, right? That is why India, being a developing country, has seen that technology and engineering and science based subjects, these are very subjects which are very precious. These are subjects which will be very fruitful in the future, and hence I think this trend of having a lot of students in science trying to get into those high priced jobs, I think that is one. But I think we should also see how the trend of the world is also shifting, right? Because what is slowly happening is we are now starting to live in a COVID society. Right now, I'm not saying that there'll be other viruses, or I hope there's nothing like that, right? But right now, a very significant part of our lives has become online, right? So, what happens if we look at it from perspective of commercial businesses, right? So, a major avenue of their earning, a major let's say a major opportunity to earn, which is physical, has been this is a huge setback, right? So what happens is the field of advertising, the field of advertisement has taken leaps and bounds, right? And this is where students from the arts department, students of humanities, because we can see jobs like graphic designing, content writing, right? And I think this is another new trend which the world is taking, where we will start shifting towards more towards people who are from a humanities background, right? So I do not, right, a few months, I think a few years back, Jeff Bezos, he said in an interview, he actually said this, he said that this was during when the COVID was just starting to break out, and he said that we hire so many engineers, we hire people from science backgrounds, right? But now that the world is taking a step back, they're going into their homes, I think it is time for people, that we will start hiring people from arts backgrounds, people who are creative, people who can, express their ideas, right? Because the word advertisement has become 10 times more important, right? I have a lot of other points, but I'd like to have someone else discuss, and we can take this discussion forward.
Yes, of course. If you would allow me to say something here. Now, let's get to the core of the issues. Why does one pursue a degree, a higher education degree, or education in at all, so that they can ultimately make money and support themselves and their possible families in the future, right? Now, when you do that, say you become a scientist. If you are from science background, you become a scientist or an inventor. You you conduct research on something that's effectively going to help people and solve issues of the country or the people as a whole. When you're an inventor, you're trying to invent something which is going to solve issues. Let's say you are a civil servant, a collector, for example. You need to understand the problems that the people of your area are facing, so that you can conduct your duties that have invested to you, the powers which have invested to you by the constitution of this country, effectively, right? But we cannot do that. Nobody can do that unless and until we understand the very core issues of this country and how this country works. I have a friend who says something very interesting, that in order to understand India and how India works historically, politically, and whatnot, one must read 3 books very carefully. The Constitution of India, the Communist Manifesto, and Ramakrishna's Kathamrita. Now, why Ramakrishna's Kathamrita? Why so? Some people might think it's a book on spirituality. It's not just a book on spirituality. It's a book which makes you understand the very ethos of this nation, from how the people suffer, why they suffer. So once when you'll be able to understand these key factors, then only will you be able to become a problem solver. If you want to start a business, how do you start it? Why do you start a business? So that you can identify a problem, you can supply a solution, sell that solution, and make money. That is the basic understanding of the business. And if you can't identify these problems effectively, you cannot be able to come up with a solution, right? So I believe that when it comes to higher education in India, students should take the initiative, and not only students, the government should take the initiative to push books like Ramakrishna Kathamrita, so that people can understand how it works. These are the I would request everyone present here to read it. It's a brilliant book when it comes to history, when it comes to politics, spirituality, and whatnot. When Swami Vivekananda started out, what did he have? When Sri Ramakrishna started out, what did he have? There was nothing. And look how big the Ramakrishna mission is today. Why? Because they understood the core problems. And with that, I believe there might be other sorts
Right.
of
Right. So what you I'm sorry to interrupt you. So what you're talking about is basically not a complete overhaul of the curriculum, but to add other very effective inputs, right? So previously in a discussion we were talking about how cryptocurrency, how banking, paying taxes, stuff like these, you either get them, you either get these knowledges if you pursue them specifically from the internet, right? And there was a counter argument saying that we are all 18 plus now, so you have to be you have to be aware of it by yourself, right? But what I feel is that instead a general solution would be to inculcate these practical aspects of life. These are life lessons, right, into our curriculum in some way, shape, or form, right? Perhaps not examine us on it per se, because obviously we know that higher education at the end of the day, it is it's like specialized education in a specialized field, right? So we must not also digress from that goal. We have to be good at our field, we have to have specified technical knowledge at our field, right? We should not digress from that. However, we should also look forward to trying to inculcate these in our syllabus in some way, shape, or form, right? For example, our college, one step that our college has taken is something I'm really proud of, is that we have so many different kinds of events with so many collectives, right? And there's so much of participation that even if I am not 100% aware of something other than academics, I am in some way, shape, or form, I'm connected to some other kind of activity, right? For example, Model United Nations, right? So this is kind of a new trend over the past 10-15 years, where it's a kind of a debate where we study about the United Nations, about world politics, and we have a simulation, right? And doing this has actually boosted my speaking skills, which is a very important aspect in any kind of job you talk about, any profession, right? Researching skills, again, a very important aspect, in especially in higher education and PhDs, because PhDs specifically revolves around your research, revolves around how you present this research, right? So I think that we should, perhaps the higher education, not me obviously, perhaps in the future, but perhaps the higher education should start inculcating these life lessons, these topics of life lessons somehow into the curriculum, so that even if the student is not willing to go and learn what is tax. Personally, I'm very bored about money, currency, and all that, so I might not have the interest, but to a level I will be forced to understand what is happening, right? So it will prepare us for the next step, which is into the harsh professional world, right? Having said that, is there anyone who would like to continue
Yes,
this?
I'm actually completely in agreement with you. Like when I was studying economics, yes, ma'am, sure.
Just a minute. Actually, we have we have reached the fag end of the discussion. It's already
Okay.
time, so I will request all of you to wind up and reach to your conclusion. Okay.
Right. So, friends, I believe that we have been able to have a conclusive discussion on, the topic that was at hand. Now, what really makes me sad at the end of the day when we discuss all of this is the fact that once at a point of time in history, India was really, really up there when it comes to education. Read up on the history of Nalanda University. Read it up and look at it today. Look at the situation of college students today. People want to get out of this country as soon as they can. People want to escape. People want to settle in the US or the UK or in Germany. Why? Why these European and why the North American nation? Understand that first. And the government should take up these researches, these very core and valid researches, and come up with solutions so that the students and the talent of this country can stay in this country and help out the people of this nation. And that, I think, should be the core understanding of this discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you, all the participants. It was indeed a brilliant discussion. You have touched upon very, very sensitive issues and aspects of higher education, which really indeed needs focus, indeed needs further discussions and deliberations. But one thing I'll just like to add, that you haven't touched upon the new education policy that has been launched. I think all the audience, probably they have expected that you would be touching upon this, because we really wanted to hear from you what are the pros and cons of this new education policy. So I will say that we have to wait, we have to wait and we have to watch. I think the higher education system in India, it is a very dynamic area, where, as we all know, it is a very common saying that the change is the only constant, right? So it is a continuous changing process under which it is going through. And for example, so we can also say that this new education policy that has been introduced, so it is now the waiting game, that we have to wait and we have to kind of really watch how far this new policy is going to boost up the Indian education system, whether it is a road towards higher education or whether it will introduce new kinds of obstacles for higher education system in our country, whether the government is actually interested in developing, in boosting higher education in this country, or the education system is going to face any darker days. So all these, deliberations, all these thoughts are It is basically in our mind. It is going on in our mind. We are in a very confused state right now because of this pandemic. So until and unless I think the pandemic situation is over, something concrete, something very structured is very difficult to achieve it at this situation. Mainly, as all of you have kind of said, that these online classes, this online system is probably the strongest monster or the devil which the higher education system in India today is facing. Not only the higher education system, also the primary level education system also, it is facing the same thing. Think about the kids, they are not being able to go to school. So on this note, I will thank all of you for this indeed a thought-provoking session. I will thank all the audience who has shown a lot of patience to be with us for such a long time. And with this, I thank the coordinator, teacher in charge sir, vice principal madam, vice principal sir, management, and our program coordinator once again. And I will end the session here with your due permission. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, for your observations. Thank you, Reet, Shagoto, Bishwarup, and Sambhavi for engaging us into such an enriching group discussion. Trust me, have this been an online celebration, you would have been showered with a great round of applause. So, without further ado, I would like to move into some kind of amusement, and for this we have our comedy skit presented by Aditya Prakash and Sakib Said from SEM 1, and they are from the Department of Economics and BCom. Thank you. The space is yours.
Ma'am, the video is not audible.
Ma'am, you must unmute for the audio to play. You must unmute yourself. Unmute from? हाँ.
क्या कर रहा है अभी? खा रहा हूँ। अब तो तुमको भी दिख रहा है, लेकिन अभी तू खाएगा? नहीं। अरे ले ले। नहीं नहीं। अरे खा ना। नहीं। अरे खा। अरे खा ना। नहीं। खा। साकिब और हम बैचमेट्स थे, अब रूममेट्स हैं। पिछले कुछ दिनों से वो बहुत अजीब हरकतें कर रहा था। जहां खाना निकालना चाहिए वहां बैठ के खाना खा रहा था। कोई पागल ही होता जो उसके कहने पे उसके साथ 1.5 kg बिरयानी खाता। उसका पागलपन दिन ब दिन बढ़ रहा था। उस दिन तो हद ही हो गई। हाँ भैया, एक चिकन हाक्का नूडल्स कर देना विद एक्स्ट्रा चिकन, एक चिकन पालक पनीर कर देना,
क्या मतलब चिकन पालक पनीर नहीं होता है? कर देना, चुप। एक चिकन लस्सी कर देना और हाथ धोने के लिए भी चिकन का एक टिश्यू पेपर भेज आना। चिकन से तुझे कुछ चाहिए? मेरा पेट भरा है, तुमको भूख नहीं? एक मिनट भैया, तो भूख नहीं थी। पूरा पूरा हाँ जल्दी खा, हाँ जल्दी खा। ओए तू पैकेट के साथ पैकेट के साथ पैकेट के साथ हाँ पैकेट के साथ जल्दी ओए तू कम ऑन तू जल्दी तुम रखी मेरे साथ में। अबे अब उसको पी मत जाना। अच्छा ये एक पर शुगर कैन है, बिजनेस का है। अबे आरओ का पानी हम सब ले गया। पागल है साला। ये उम्र में लड़कों के कमरे में आलिया कैटरीना की फोटो होती है, इसने हर जगह गॉर्डन रैमजे का फोटो लगा के रखा है। इसको अभी भी लगता है कि संजीव कपूर इसके पापा है, इसको खाना बना के खिलाएंगे। हाँ पापा आप आ जाइएगा ना, आपने तो बोला था आ जाएंगे। फोन 2 साल से खराब है। मेरा एक कुत्ता था, चीकू चीकू नाम था उसका। चीकू 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 शाकिब तुमने चीकू को देखा क्या? चीकू नहीं शाकिब 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 चीकू को देखा क्या? शाकिब नहीं नहीं शाकिब नहीं 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 शाकिब नहीं चीकू को देखा क्या? कुत्ता है, मेरा कुत्ता है वो, मैं कुत्ता है वो कुत्ते। का पागलपन मेरे और मेरे टॉयलेट सीट दोनों के लिए बहुत खराब था। इससे पहले वो हमको भी खा जाए, उनको कुछ करना था। ताकिब को किसी साइकियाट्रिस्ट से मिलाना बहुत जरूरी हो गया था। मैंने गूगल किया कि भूत कैसे हटाया जाए। मुझे गूगल से पता चला शाकिब के भूत को हटाने के लिए एक्सॉर्सिज्म करना पड़ेगा। Exorcism was a bad idea. गूगल ने मुझे बताया कि उसके खाने के भूत को छुड़ाने के लिए उसे खराब खाना खिलाना पड़ेगा। What is better than वेज बिरयानी? ताकि बिरयानी था, अब कुछ नहीं है, बिरयानी था। इसमें चिकन कहाँ है? चिकन साइलेंट है, होता है वो नया नया कुछ। ठीक है ये बस कर पूरा चिप्स ले ले, पानी पी ले। सॉरी हाँ ये ठीक है, पर ये इतना सॉल्टी क्यों है? और इससे पेशाब
पेशाब की स्मेल क्यों आ रही है? अब 1920 के तरह तो उसके कान पे हनुमान चालीसा पढ़ नहीं सकता था क्योंकि शाकिब मुस्लिम था और मुझे अजान खुद ही याद नहीं। अब क्या करता मैं? I was afraid। शाकिब को भूत पकड़ लिया था, खाने का भूत। टारगेट की तरह हमने भी स्ट्रगल किया, इसे डट के गंदा खाना खिलाया और अब इसका भूत उतर गया। मैं एकदम भूत क्लीन हूँ, मैं एकदम सही हूँ दोस्तों। शाकिब नहीं, मैं ठीक हूँ, ठीक है ना?
Thank you, Saqib and thank you, Aditya and Saqib. I had a good laugh after quite some time, and even extreme appetite could have its consequences. Okay, so we have something really creative coming up now, and for that I would like to welcome our SEM 3 participants Sudipta De and Anushka Goswami from the Department of English, Shreyam De from the Department of Economics, Shoheli Chakraborty from the Department of Pol Science, and Shagata Mukherjee from the Department of Chemistry to display their posters. Thank you so much. I think that beautifully briefed up the agenda of today's program. So we have our participants for recitation now. I would like to welcome Sophia Parveen, semester 1 student from the Department of Economics for her Urdu and English recitation, sorry.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'll first start with my English recitation today. So this poem is called Times, and as we know, we are going through a lot of up and down in our times today. So here, there may be times when you're filled with good vibes. It's a denry, it's chopped like a child. Someone comes and shouts at you, you want to shriek your heart out. You can't even mute. Just like a chewing gum, your anger, you're forced to chew. There will be times when you don't want to be happy as a wind chime, but someone is as sweet as life. Don't let your anger win. Pretend to be keen. That someone is trying their level best to make your life sweet. There may be times when you want to commit a crime. Just have a look at your nursery life. Close your eyes and slowly mind. It will solve all problems. Clean up your mind and erase the bad aroma going on in your life and taking over it badly. And there are times when everything around you is as fragrant as thyme and your body is releasing all happy enzymes. Then, my friend, just enjoy life. If required, with a glass of wine. Don't let anyone try or grind your moments. Enjoy each of it to the fullest, just as in childhood you used to enjoy candies of peppermints. Thank you. And next up, I have my Urdu recitation. It's called Maungi. तुमने कागज पर चंद लफ्ज लिखकर मुझे पुकारा था, मैं किस्मत की लकीर समझकर तराशते हुए आऊंगी। मैं घड़ी के कांटों से नाप कर कुछ वक्त लेकर आऊंगी, तो मुस्कान भरे लम्हे बना दे। अपनी एहसास की कलम को लफ्जों की स्याही में डुबोकर मेरी जिंदगी के कोरे पन्नों को भर देना। मैं कायनात की हर कशिश को अनदेखा कर तुम्हारी ओर चल पड़ूंगी। बस एक बार इश्क बयां कर देना। जिन चंद आंसू की बूंदों को तुम यूं ही तकिए पर टपकने दिया करते थे, अब मेरे साथ उनकी नदियां बहा देना। कहते हैं लोग राहों में आगे काटे बहुत हैं, कहते हैं लोग मुझसे राहों में आगे काटे बहुत है। मेरा भी वादा है तुमसे, मैं चलूंगी साथ तुम्हारे, चाहे गिरे सर पर आसमान या बहे आग का दरिया पैरों के नीचे। मैं अपने साथ पूर्णिमा की काली रात लेकर आऊंगी, अपनी मोहब्बत की नायाब कला से मेरे उस आसमान में टिमटिमाते तारे भर देना। मैं आऊंगी दबे पैर तुम्हारे चौखट, इस तंग शहर की ऊंची बेनामी आवाजों के बीच मेरे कदमों के हल्के आहट को पहचान लेना। सुना है देर रात तुम बेवफाई की तर्ज पे टूटते हो, मैं एतबार की कंबल बुनकर लाऊंगी। मेरे दामन पर समाज के रिवाजों के लगाए चंद दाग है, मेरे दामन पर समाज के रिवाजों के लगाए चंद दाग है, तुम मुझे नापाक ही अपना लेना। चांद तारे मुझे नहीं चाहिए, ना उन्हें तोड़ कर लाने की बातें, बस हो सके तो थोड़ी इज्जत नवाज देना। सुबह की उगती सूरज से लेकर शाम की ढलती सूरज तक मैं बैठूंगी तुम्हारे साथ। तुम बस उन बादलों में मुझे अपनी मासूम तस्वीर दिखा देना। कभी पुकार का जवाब ना दूं अगर, कभी पुकार का जवाब ना दूं अगर, तो धड़कनों को काशिश बनाकर मेरी ओर भेज देना। वक्त कितना है मेरे पास ये तो मुझे पता नहीं, वक्त कितना है मेरे पास ये तो मुझे पता नहीं, पर जितना भी है और जैसा भी है, मैं एक उम्र बिताने को तुम्हारे साथ लेकर जरूर आऊंगी। मैं आऊंगी। थैंक यू।
Thank you so much, Sophia. That was so beautiful. I've always wanted to learn Urdu, and perhaps you could help me up someday. Okay, so next we have Oritroja Mukherjee, a semester 3 student from the Department of English for a recitation. Over to you, Oritroja.
Thank you. Today I'm actually not going to recite any poem as such. In fact, I would like to recite some of my own poems, like two of them, which I have written myself. So, let me start. Okay. My first poem, Down the Memory Lane. Well, this I dedicate to all my school friends, of course, and I wrote this poem after my last days in school. So here we go. Wrinkled hands trembling now, tears falling on the written records, sounds now those bellowing winds, knocking panes, cracking those barren iron gates. The pages are blank. No letters written by hands again. No winding films, no photographs left behind. All that is left behind those little handprints. Flashbacks past, the bells that will never again ring. Walls are broken, memories unfurnished. 100 tales and million days written beneath. Now those lined faces, all is lost now. When once vigor persisted, childless path now seem barren. It was a home then, now a stranger's bill. Where those lockers once stood at ease, today they are into 1,000 broken pieces. When the old voice broke, none lies ahead. In unison from the back, familiarity came up again. The face now turned to look at once. The days of jolly childhood came driven twice. In time, they all grew old, while their wrinkled hands never felt so fresh before. Those hands held again, but now experience the repeating days today. My next poem is The Trumpets and the Bells. With languages so obscure, infidelity remained an unspoken truth. What you seek for will be the allegory, an empty dream where the trumpets feel claustrophobic. Have you played the cards? Our face is the same, but sides turn us upside down. We had once played chess together, gathering the patience of tolerance. One was to lose, while wins the opposite. Spoken of a bitter truth, lies ahead a loathing pain. Today, I live in dark, for I haven't switched on the lamp. I know to guide myself into a world which I own. Where will you be then? Hidden in your nutshell? You are not what the world seeps in. You will be broken and even torn. Liars speak what the cowards don't. Bigger goals are often cold. Be not a miser nor a pooper. Cross your boundaries only for your own sake. Thank you.
Thanks to you, Aritroja, for it was really awesome and I'm already feeling nostalgic. Next we have Kripa Sahal from semester 3, Department of GMC for a recitation.
Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, thank you. So good afternoon, everyone. Today I'm going to recite a poem on youth, Diyas. तू युद्ध कमाल है, तू युद्ध कमाल है, कल का निर्माण है, आज का अभिमान है, बढ़ता हुआ कदम, उठती हुई आंधी, दूर तक जाती नजर, पास की भी तुझे खबर, मौके कई हजार करता हर परीक्षा पार, उम्मीद की धड़कन, जोश कनकन, ना हारने का डर, ना जीतने का जश्न, ना रूठने का नाम, ना खुद पे लगाम, तेरी बेताली में भी अजीब सी ताल है, तू युद्ध कमाल है। माना तेरी तेज भागती जिंदगी जरूरी है, माना तेरी तेज भागती जिंदगी जरूरी है, पर तेरी खुद से भर रही दूरी है। तू रुकता नहीं, थमता नहीं, तेरी बाह फैलाती जिंदगी में कोई कस के गले लगता नहीं। दुनिया भर की जानकारी तेरे कदमों पे, पर तेरी खुद से मुलाकात अभी अधूरी है। पर हम समझते हैं तेरी तेज भागती जिंदगी जरूरी है। चल तुझे एक नुस्खा बताऊं, तेरी भागती हुई जिंदगी में सुकून का तड़का लगाऊं। वो नोटिफिकेशन की ललक बेमानी है, बराबरी की होड़ में ठोकर ही खानी है। तू जितना है जैसा है उसको कम मत आंग। किसी दिन फुर्सत में अपने भीतर झांक, फोमो के डर को दे मन से निकाल। जहां तेरे कदम वही ढूंढ अपनी ताल। वो चाय के तसल्ली से भरे कप, वो पानी में छपा के, वो माँ के सर पे हाथ फेराना, वो दूर कहीं किसी के साथ खो जाना। ये तुझे कहीं डाउनलोड नहीं कर पाएगा, इनसे किसी वाईफाई के थ्रू कनेक्ट भी नहीं हो पाएगा। जो जिंदगी को वाकई जिंदगी बनाती है, वो किसी स्क्रीन में स्क्रॉल करता नहीं पाएगा। रुकना नहीं, थमना नहीं, रणबीर कपूर ने जरूर बोला था। गैरी ने भी लाइफ को काबिलियत से जोड़ा था। जुड़े रहने को तूने गलती से गलत समझ लिया है। खुद से जुदा होके तू किससे जुड़ने चला है। वक्त बीता उन लम्हों के साथ जो फेसबुक के स्टेटस और ट्विटर के ट्वीट में नहीं पाएगा। इस बिखरी हुई दुनिया में तू अपनी जगह जरूर बनाएगा। तेरा हुनर, तेरी ललक तुझसे जुदा नहीं रह पाएगी। तराश अपने आप को, मंजिल नजदीक नजर आएगी। तू भूल बैठा है शायद ऊपर खुला आसमान है। अरे नजरें उठा के देख, तेरी अनलिमिटेड उड़ान है। कोई और नहीं, खुद बन के जी, लिख अपनी एक कहानी। खुद को खुद से जोड़ और तू पाएगा वही जो तूने है ठानी। थैंक यू सो मच।
Thank you, Kripa. That touched my heart, and I hope everyone present here have also enjoyed it. Let's rejuvenate our souls with some music, and we have our semester 1 participant from the Department of English, Priyanshu Datta, for his musical presentation. Please.
इन्ना सोना क्यों रब ने बनाया, इन्ना सोना क्यों रब ने बनाया, इन्ना सोना क्यों रब ने बनाया, इन्ना सोना क्यों रब ने बनाया। आवा जावा तेरे यारानू मना, आवा जावा तेरे यारानू मना। इन्ना सोना, इन्ना सोना, इन्ना सोना। All I wanna say is that they don't really care about us. All I wanna say is that they don't really care about us. All I wanna say is that they don't really care about us. All I wanna say is that they don't really care about us. कोल होए ते सिक लगदा है, दूर जाए ते दिल जलदा है। कैदी हक ना रब ने बनाया, रब ने बनाया, रब ने बनाया। इन्ना सोना क्यों रब ने बनाया, इन्ना सोना क्यों रब ने बनाया। आवा जावा तेरे यारानू मना, आवा जावा तेरे यारानू मना। इन्ना सोना, इन्ना सोना, इन्ना सोना। All I wanna say is that they don't really care about us. All I wanna say is that they don't really care about us. All I wanna say is that they don't really care about us. All I wanna say is that they don't really care about us. ਇੰਨਾ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਓ ਇੰਨਾ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਇੰਨਾ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਓ ਇੰਨਾ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਇੰਨਾ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਓ ਇੰਨਾ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਇੰਨਾ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਓ ਇੰਨਾ ਸੋਹਣਾ
Thank you, Priyanshu. I think I'm out of words. Okay, sorry. Okay. Please, Rohit, go ahead.
सारी रात आहे भरता पल पल यादों में भरता आने ना मेरी मन मेरा गुर होश मदहोशी सी है जिंदा होशी सी है जाने जिसकी नाम मेरा कभी मेरा था पल अब बेगाना है दीवाना दीवाना समझना कभी चुप चुप रहे कभी गाया ये तेरे बिन पूछो तेरी तारीफ सुनाया ये तेरे या कोई हकीकत तू या कोई फसाना है कुछ जाने अगर तो इतना के तेरा दीवाना है मन मेरा माने ना मन मेरा रग रग वो समाया मेरे दिल पर वो छाया मेरे मुझ में वो ऐसे जैसे जा दिल बरसात में पानी जैसे कोई कहानी जैसे दिल से छूटा आशिक दिल तेरा दीवाना है दीवाना दीवाना समझना कभी चुप चुप रहे कभी गाया ये करे बिन पूछा तेरी तारीफ सुनाया ये करे या कोई हकीकत तू या कोई फसाना है कुछ जाने और तो इतना के ये तेरा दीवाना है मन मेरा माने ना मन मेरा तुझको जो देखे ये मुझको लेके बस तेरे पीछे पीछे भागे तेरा जुनून है तू ही सुकून है तुझसे ही बांधे दिल के धागे कभी चुप चुप रहे कभी गाया ये करे बिन पूछा तेरी तारीफ सुनाया ये करे या कोई हकीकत तू या कोई फसाना है कुछ जाने अगर तो इतना के ये तेरा दीवाना है रे मन मेरा माने ना मन मेरा
Thank you, Rohit. And as for Priyanshu, I couldn't say that. Okay, I was out of words. You did a great job. So next we have Orpon Bandyopadhyay, a SEM1 student from the Department of Commerce for his live performance.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. This is Open Banerjee, and I'm going to be singing two songs. I'll be starting off with When I Was a Man by Bruno Mars, and for the second song, I'll be singing Perfect by Ed Sheeran. And I'll be using whatever karaoke I could find online. Same bed, but it feels just a little bit bigger now. Our song on the radio, but it don't sound the same. When our friends talk about you, all it does is just tear me down. My heart breaks a little when I hear your name. It all just sounds like too young, too dumb to realize that I should have bought you flowers and held your hand. Should have given all my hours when I had the chance. Take you to every party, 'cause all you wanted to was dance. Now my baby's dancing, but she's dancing with another man. My pride, my ego, my needs, and my selfish ways. 'Cause a good, strong woman like you to walk up my life. Now I never gonna clean up the mess I made. Oh, and it haunts me every time I close my eyes. It all just sounds like ooh, too young, too dumb to realize I should have bought you flowers and held your hand. Should have given all my hours when I had the chance. Take you to every party, 'cause all you wanted to do was dance. Now my baby's dancing, but she's dancing with another man. Although it hurts, I'll be the first to say that I was wrong. Oh, my bad. Just a second, guys. Jesus. Oh, I'm just gonna continue without the karaoke for this song. Although it hurts, I'll be the first to say that I was wrong. Oh, I know I'm probably much too late to try and apologize for my mistakes, but I just want you to know. I hope he buys you flowers. I hope he holds your hand, gives you all of his hours when he has the chance. Takes you to every party, 'cause I remember how much you love to dance. Do all the things I should have done when I was your man. Do all the things I should have done when I was your man. Thank you. That was the first song. And now they're doing the second song, which is Perfect by Ed Sheeran. Oh, I found a love for me. Darling, just dive right in and follow my lead. Well, I found a girl, beautiful and sweet, and I never knew you were the someone waiting for me. We were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was. I will not give you more time. is all I want, and in your eyes you're holding on. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. When you said you like to dance, I whispered underneath my breath, holding on you, perfect tonight. Well, I found a woman stronger than anyone I know. She shares my dreams. I hope that someday I'll share her home. I found a love to carry more than just my secrets, to carry love, to carry cheer. We are still capable, so in love, fighting against all odds. I know I'll be alright this time. Darling, just hold my hand. Be my girl, I'll be your man. I see my future in your eyes. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. Then I saw you in the dress. I guess I wanna leave the room to hiding the oh, no, baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my legs, barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. I have faith in what I see. Now I know I have met an angel in person, and she is perfect. I don't deserve this. You're perfect tonight. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Arpon. Ed Sheeran's Perfect is my personal favorite, and I am just mesmerized. Next,
Thank
we
you so
have
much.
Next, we have Theory Gupta, a semester one student from the Department of English, for his live solo performance. The space is yours.
A very good afternoon to everyone who is watching me. My name is Reek Gupta and I'm studying English honors. I'm a first year student and I'm a singer and a pianist. But since I have a cold today, I'm going to play a very nice improvised piece that I made a few days back. The name of this piece is Sorrow, and I hope you enjoy it. Please do tell me if I'm audible. I'm going to play a few notes. Just tell me if I'm loud enough.
Yes, you are. It's perfectly fine.
All right. Okay, so I'll begin. Right. So thank you so much. That was Sorrow. That was a piece that I made a few days back, and I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you so much, Reek. You called your piece sorrow, but trust me, it filled me with so much delight. And I'm borrowing Sophia's compliment. You must have you stole our hearts. Thank you. Hope to hear from you more. So now I would like to welcome Prosharit Choudhury from the Department of Mathematics, Sem 1. Could we have Prosharit's video?
Yes, I had actually sent a recording, the video.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Prosharit Choudhury. I'm from BSc Maths Honors Department, first sem. And today I'm going to play a song which is very close to my heart. It's called Ocean, and it's sung by and composed by Anup J. So yeah. As I sail for days, I keep drowning away. Will my sailors forgive me for feeling this way? You said, hey, mister, to follow through. Let's go and build a house big enough to fit us two. We'll weave a castle there, the castle of our dreams. United standing up, tie your blanket to me. Girl, you just like a pretty house with wooden beams, you're facing the south. You are my shelter, you are my little home. Your walls are painted pink and green with a hint of tangerine. I see a crack in the window. I'm waking up to hold you. All your memories, all your tragedies are mine. Cause your life is the ocean, and your heart is the wave. like a dog in the sun. I found my peace in your stone as I sail for days. I keep drowning away, but my sailors forgive me for feeling this way. As days turn into years, but more than our days. There's so much left to learn as I flip through your pages. As sweet as creme brulee, these memories we make. Let me take your hand out for a lifetime. 'Cause darling, all these years have gone as the tree that we sat upon, so afraid to fall away. We laughed, we made true. The sailors, they have come around. Their ballads bring a different sound. I guess they all have drowned in love with you the way I have to. 'Cause your life is the ocean, and your heart the biggest wave. Like a dog in the sun, I found my peace in your stone as I sail for days. I keep on drowning away. Will the gods forgive me for feeling this way? Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Prosharit. So with Prosharit's soul-soothing performance, we come to an end of today's event. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to everyone for joining us and making this program a success. Last but definitely not the least, I would like to request Shompa ma'am to conclude the program with her vote of thanks. Thank you.
নমস্কার, শুভ অপরাহ্ন। এখন ধন্যবাদ জ্ঞাপনের পালা। পশ্চিমবঙ্গ সরকারের উচ্চশিক্ষা দপ্তরকে আন্তরিক ধন্যবাদ জানাই ছাত্র সপ্তাহের মতো একটি কর্মসূচির উদ্যোগ নেয়ার জন্য। ধন্যবাদ জানাই দি ভবানীপুর এডুকেশন সোসাইটি কলেজের কলেজ কর্তৃপক্ষ ও পরিচালন সমিতিকে, যাদের অদম্য উৎসাহ আমাদের এই অনুষ্ঠানকে সাফল্যমণ্ডিত করতে সাহায্য করেছে। ধন্যবাদ জানাই দ্য ভবানীপুর এডুকেশন সোসাইটি কলেজের টিচার ইনচার্জ অধ্যাপক শুভব্রত গাঙ্গুলিকে, আইকিউএসি কোঅর্ডিনেটর অধ্যাপক তথাগত সেনকে, ভাইস প্রিন্সিপাল আর্টস অধ্যাপক দেবযানী গঙ্গোপাধ্যায়কে, ভাইস প্রিন্সিপাল কমার্স অধ্যাপক ষষ্প চক্রবর্তীকে, ভাইস প্রিন্সিপাল সায়েন্স অধ্যাপক পিঙ্কি সাহা সর্দারকে, ডিন অফ স্টুডেন্ট অ্যাফেয়ার্স অধ্যাপক দিলীপ শাহকে, পলিটিক্যাল সায়েন্সের অধ্যাপক দেবাঞ্জনা চক্রবর্তীকে আমার আন্তরিক শ্রদ্ধা ও ধন্যবাদ জানাই। কলেজের সমস্ত সহকর্মী ও শিক্ষাকর্মীকে, যারা প্রযুক্তিগত সহায়তা করেছেন তাদের প্রত্যেককে আমার আন্তরিক ধন্যবাদ জানাই। এই অনুষ্ঠানকে সুন্দর ও সার্থক করে তোলার জন্য যাদের অবদান সবথেকে বেশি, সেই সব ছাত্রছাত্রীদের জানাই আন্তরিক ভালোবাসা ও শুভেচ্ছা। যারা অনুষ্ঠান করেছ আর যারা অনুষ্ঠান শুনেছ, তাদের প্রত্যেকের জন্যই রইল অনেক শুভকামনা। এই অতিমারী সময়, যখন আমরা সবাই মানসিকভাবে বিপর্যস্ত হয়ে পড়ছি, তখন এই ধরনের অনুষ্ঠান সত্যি অন্ধকারের মধ্যে আলোর দিশা দেখায়। আমরা আশা রাখি আমরা সবাই এই বিপর্যয় কাটিয়ে স্বাভাবিক জীবনে দ্রুত ফিরে আসব। আমরা করব জয়, নিশ্চয়ই। সকলের উজ্জ্বল এবং সুস্থ ভবিষ্যতের আশা রেখে ধন্যবাদ জ্ঞাপন শেষ করছি। নমস্কার, সবাই ভালো থাকবেন।
আগামীকালের অনুষ্ঠান কাল 11টা থেকে আরম্ভ হবে। আমি যারা পার্টিসিপেন্টস থাকবে তারা এবং অন্যান্য স্টুডেন্টদের বলবো, তোমরা প্লিজ 10টার মধ্যে এনরোল করার চেষ্টা করবে, লগ ইন করবে। তা না হলে হয়তো বা আবার আজকের মতো অনেক সমস্যা তৈরি হতে পারে। 10:30টায় যে লিঙ্ক আজকে তোমরা পেয়েছো, এই একই লিঙ্ক থাকবে আমাদের প্রত্যেক দিনের অনুষ্ঠানে। ফলে নতুন করে লিঙ্ক পাওয়ার কিছু নেই। তোমরা অবশ্যই এই লিঙ্কে সবাই জয়েন করবে 10:30টায়। ধন্যবাদ।